All righty then. All right. Let me set this stuff up real quick. Let me get my act together here. All righty then. All right. Let me set this stuff up real quick. Let me get my. No, I got to stop that. Okay. See what's happening on Facebook. Try to do some video screen sharing on Facebook. I don't know how that's turning out. Set this up. Okay. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this. All right. Okay. Looks like everything is in working order. Yeah. Let's go ahead and get busy. Shouldn't spend a whole lot of time today. Going to be real quick. And how you doing there, Sister Myosha? Oh wow, glad to see you. Glad to see you. Wow. Let's get this party started. In the name of my ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what I call the Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper, or the host of this program, known here on what some still call the World Wide Web. Wherever you may find me, I am known as the mighty, mighty, mighty Angel Snub Nub 7. I am your soul brother, number one. We are coming live on Facebook, and of course, we are live here on Google Hangout, YouTube. I want to thank everybody. Oh man, can you believe I spent all this time? Well, I might not need it. I have to go get me a little something to drink, but I might not need it. Today was not just to. We did not come here or gather here just to hear me talk. I know y'all like to hear me talk, but I wasn't planning on doing that today. I see my sister, one of my guest sisters is here. Sister, you need to call me so I can put you on speakerphone. Sister Nova. This conversation wasn't just for myself, but I had invited persons. Our brother, Maurice Muhammad, is going to be a little late, and perhaps a lot of late. And really, I was depending on Brother Maurice to really get the ball going. Y'all know how to, man, let me say, hey, I am so tired. But y'all know I usually wake up, but I stay tired. And I'm so tired, I can't even hardly talk to you. But as, you know, as the soul train gets on the tracks, moving on, you know how I do. I can get, oh, Sister Noble, call me the regular way. I can't put you on speakerphone. Hold on a second. Let me see. Hold on, technical difficulties here. What's up, sister? Sister dear. Yeah, I couldn't. I don't know what it is. I can't put you on speakerphone on Google Hangout. Yeah, I don't know what it is. There's no speaker button. I don't know what the deal is. I'm glad you're here though.
I'm glad to be here today.
All right.
There's an echo in the background.
Yeah, you probably have to cut down your the volume on your computer if you're trying to listen to the computer.
Yeah, my volume is off on my.
The tab. I don't know how you do it. Because you can hear me. You can hear me over the telephone, so you have to close the tab on your computer.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
All right.
There we go. There we go. We in business. Let me set this.
Okay.
Let me set this phone up.
Hold on for a minute. Hold on for a minute.
Okay. Woo! Glad you showed up, sister. Get to bail me out.
Yeah.
Get to bail me out.
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
This is my one of my guests, Sister Noble, and I want you to introduce yourself, sister, and also it's sort of like this is a test of how the people can hear you. Myosha, let me know if you can hear Sister Noble speak. So if you would like to introduce yourself, Sister Noble, and
my name is Alberta Parrish.
Yeah.
That's my real government name, Alberta Parrish. And I am a writer. I'm an author. I write poetry. I work a regular job that I don't like to make ends meet, and that's pretty much it, really. Hold on for a minute. I'm trying to get this echo to stop. Yeah, I'm not doing a good job.
You know something? It might be my phone.
Okay.
When I put it on speakerphone, sometimes I don't know what the deal is here. Let me see. It's probably my phone doing that echo crap. It's been doing that recently. I don't know why it started doing that.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I don't think it's that bad. Maybe it's because it was sitting. I don't know.
Okay.
But anyway, they can hear you. It looked like it only happens when I talk. See, when you talk, you really don't hear all that old noise, but when I talk, it seems like it gets worse.
Okay.
No, that's not an echo. I hear something. It's so do you have something else in the background?
No. I mean, I can see you on my laptop.
Okay. Okay. Well, they said I can hear you in the chat room, so I guess we cool.
Okay. I just have to find out if this, or just be on the phone and not have the screen up on my laptop.
Yeah.
Because I can still hear an echo.
Yeah.
And, I just find out.
It's just a technical difficulty. It's not that bad. We can work through it.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So. Okay. So, y'all still with me? All right. Okay. Where do we go from here? I guess I'll kick the ball rolling. I did have a couple of other guests. They haven't shown up yet. I did send a notice that we probably wasn't going to start on time, but at the same time, I sent the notice right back out that we were. So we'll do it. We'll get the job done. Oh, there goes one of my guests, the common sense guy. He's here.
How you doing?
And how you doing, sir? How you doing?
Not too bad.
Yeah. Well, the common sense guy is here. For those who are unfamiliar with the common sense guy, would you just introduce yourself to the audience again?
Sure. I'm probably, well, I am, not probably. I'm a YouTuber that likes to do social commentary. I like talking about different points of views, and most importantly, I like being able to have conversations with people, especially with people like Reality's Temple on TV, on the internet, sorry, that just has completely and utterly different views to what I do, is completely different to what I am. I feel that if you're going to actually be able to have an intelligent conversation and actually have a conversation that is going to challenge you, then you need to talk to people that do not have your ideological beliefs. And there's nothing better than talking to somebody that is completely different to what you are. Different in a good way, because if we were all the same, then it would be a hell of a boring place.
All right, okay. Okay, so we got, so far, roll call, we have our sister, Parrish, and we have the common sense guy. And I'm waiting on two other persons. I'm waiting on our brother Maurice Muhammad. He's going to be a little on the late side, maybe about an hour late, actually. And also have our brother Alquan told me that he wanted to join too. But anyway, I thought it was very necessary to just go ahead and start the conversation, because this particular topic, it can become very emotional anyway. It's a hot topic for some folks. It's not hot for me, because I know exactly what the deal is. But for some folks, they might find some problem. So I kick the ball rolling and get this party started by giving my little 2 cents in, which I really didn't have no plans to do 2 cents. I wanted Brother Muhammad to really carry the conversation, but since he's not here, I'm gonna have to do it. So, but the topic that we've chosen, give me a second. Let me check my Facebook real quick, because we're doing this simultaneously on Facebook also. And I just try to learn. I just learned, I hope that I'm doing this right, how to share my screen on Facebook. Okay. All right. So the subject that we've chosen for this conversation is the justification for Black separation from white folks.
Hi. Hi there.
Oh, wow. See, now look, for me, the title in and of itself, see, I don't have to justify. You know, when you have to justify something, that means you might be doing something wrong, or, you know, you're trying to make an excuse for something that you're doing. Mims is in the house. How you doing, Mims? And you have to justify doing something, because maybe you might be wrong in making that certain move or certain action or whatever. And so you have to try to justify it. Like they send innocent people to the gas chamber, and after they kill them, well, we really didn't know. So they try to justify what they done. In this case, to justify separation from Caucasian people or pink people, I don't have to justify that. I don't have to try to attempt to justify, because you, not you as an individual, Mr. Common Sense Guy, not you as an individual, but we are dealing with a people who have caused us serious, serious harm. A very simple example or analogy, I don't have to justify not touching a hot stove. What happens to you when you touch a hot stove? I don't have to justify that. Well, why don't you just touch it a little? No, 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 no. I don't have to justify, make an excuse for not touching a hot stove. This hot stove can cause me serious bodily harm. I don't have to justify. Why are you not going to take a sip of that gasoline? I don't have to justify that. Drinking gasoline would cause me serious harm. I don't have to justify my want to separate from a people who have caused myself personally and my ancestors, my people, even to this day. We don't have to go back hundreds of years ago. Even to this day and time, cause us bodily serious harm. I don't have to justify that. Why should I have to justify it? It's just like touching that stove, just like drinking some gasoline. I don't have to justify that at all. I don't have to do that. Now, I don't know why it seems like for some people, they don't understand that. It's very simple. If a man rape a woman, she don't have to be that man's friend no more. That's the end of that relationship. That's the end. Because this man violated her and caused her serious harm. Now, should she choose being the victim and have mercy on his soul, that's different. Now, if you have a people, or if I cause somebody harm, if I try to heal, sincerely heal the injury that I caused, it's called asking for mercy. Because what was done to me, you know, was very detrimental, was very damaging. If a man cheat on his wife and he's sincere, it's not up to the wife to try to make up with him. She didn't do nothing to him. It's up to that man to bring flowers, to go all out of his way, whatever is necessary to make up to his wife. So I'm dealing and living with a people who don't think that way. They don't think they have to go all out their way to show me that they are sincere, they really didn't cause the harm or whatever. They're not going to do that. They like things just the way they are. And the only thing you have to do is say, the only thing you have to do is just like, well, that was, use the excuse, well, that was a long time ago and stuff like that. That's not how things work. Because the reason why we are the way we are today is because of something that happened a long time ago. You just can't ignore the past. The reason why this woman feel the way she do about her husband is because this man cheated on her 2 times already. So how can you ask her just to forgive him and let's move on and ignore the fact this is the past created the future. The reason why we are in the condition that we're in and have this situation going on is because of the past. You can't go back into the past and do nothing. That's true. That's a fact. However, in this day and time, like I said, this man go all out of his way. Whatever he needs, if he really loves that woman, he will go all out of his way in order to show her, I'm very, very sorry. I love you. Things of this nature. But we're living with a people who don't think that way. They act like the victim owes them something. They act like the victim should be responsible for their own healing, which the victim should, because you're not going to get any help from the one that caused your pain. So you are responsible. And for many of us, the reason why we can't heal is because we're actually waiting on the one who caused the pain to heal us. That's not how it works, because you're not dealing with that mentality. You're not dealing with that mindset. You're dealing with somebody, unlike the man who wants to heal his marriage, you're dealing with the people who are not interested. They don't love you. So why am I going to go all of my way? Why should I show mercy? Why should I show forgiveness? Why would I want to integrate with those who want to continue to cause me harm and make excuses for their cheating? Oh, well, see, baby, if you had fried that chicken the way I wanted, I would not have went to the other woman to get my chicken right. They find excuses for doing the harm that they done. And I'm not going to argue. I'm not going to debate you all day long. I'm not going to do that. You go your way, I go my way. It's simple as that. And guess what? You a happy person, and I'm a happy person. You don't have to worry about me. I don't have to worry about you. Like I was speaking with my sister earlier this week. There's a need for a revolution. There's a need for an uprising. And actually that uprising, that revolution really would be good for all parties involved, because we're living in a situation where really all of us are oppressed in one form or another. We are oppressed, and we're not living really the happiest life we could, because working a job, 8 hours, 10 hours, some of us 3 or 4 jobs, that's not life. That's not life. These jobs is actually a form of slavery. They give you a few pennies or whatever, and you know, you feel like you're part of something. But at what cost? Many of these jobs cause marriage to fail, because that husband, at one time, I'm pretty sure he did love his wife, but he goes on a job with all these other women, and he spends hours and hours and hours with these other women. He messes around and fall in love with them, because he's with these other women just as much, if not more, than his wife. So these jobs are, and you don't spend time with your children. Your children are 8 hours in school. You at work 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever. You don't have quality time to nurture your babies, your children. So who raises the mentality, the mindset of your babies? The television, the radio, all these outside forces, the drug dealer, all these outside forces rather than that child's parents. So there needs to be a separation. There needs to be a separation, the wicked from the righteous. And for many of these people who are Bible believers, that's the core of your teachings, is that there must be a separation. The wheat from the tare, the goat from the sheep, things like that. God advises us to separate. So how can you be a believer in God and talk about integrate with that which God tells you to stay away from? God did not tell Moses to integrate with Pharaoh. He said, y'all got to get the hell out of there. The reason why the United States of America exists is because there was a group of people who said, we can't live with these folks. Religious persecution or whatever the reason was, they decided to come here and separate from their family, from the original family. There's nothing wrong with separation. You shouldn't have to justify when something is causing you harm. There are many people who come to this country right now. Why? Because something is causing them physical harm, and they bring themselves over here to try to find relief. They separate. Why don't you, if you believe in integration and separation like that, why don't you tell them people, go back to where they come from, go back to the harm, go back to those who was murdering them, raping them, killing them. You do not want to integrate with that which caused you harm. That whole thing just don't make any sense. And rebellion for us don't necessarily mean a physical confrontation. However, a physical confrontation is the last resort. And in many cases, history tells us a lot of people didn't have no choice. It was physical confrontation or the endless oppression. But there are many ways that you can hold a revolution, not necessarily a physical one. But sometimes it comes down to that, and you should be open to it. Don't talk about, well, we got to be peaceful. No. Unless you got a God like Moses to fight for you. You know, in the scriptures, you had a God like Moses, did you fighting for you? We don't have that. God, if you're on the line, if you're on this chat, would you fight for us so we don't have to, we don't have to do this? But it's open for me. That door is open. Just like this country always keep talking about military action must be on. Now, how come it's good for the United States or any other oppressor? They can put military action on the table, violence on the table. But when we speak, when somebody else speaks, oh, y'all should be trying to look for peaceful, look to find a peaceful way out. No, I'm pulling military action on the table just like your bum ass is. No, what it is, you just want somebody easy to whoop up on. And I'm going to say this and close what I need to say. I want to speak to the leader of North Korea right now. And maybe you already know, sir. Do not make a deal with the devil, North Korea. I'm telling you. Do not make a deal with the devil. Otherwise, it's a done deal. Next thing you know, you're gonna be in the morgue along with your family, and they're gonna take control of your country just like they did Libya. Libya gave up its nuclear weapons, whatever. Colonel Gaddafi is dead. So you do that, and it's over for North Korea. It's gonna be all Korea the southern way. Don't make a deal with the devil. These people are manipulators, they're liars. North Korea already knows that. You give up. The only reason why you have not been run over North Korea is because of your nuclear capability. You give that up, it's over. They might wait 10 years, but believe me, it's over. By that time, the leader of North Korea would be, I think he's 34 right now. He'll be 44, and he'll be a dead 44. Telling you, these people here made at least 100 treaties with the Native American people, and they broke every last one of them, except one, according to them, not according to me. This is what they write in their history books. They broke all the treaties. These people are not to be trusted. They are angry at you because you're a small country and you still have the testicles to defy them. That's what it was. They want to bring you down. Don't make a deal with the devil. I'm telling you. Like I said, it don't have to happen. They don't have to mess with you now. They did not make a move on Colonel Gaddafi right then and there. They waited years, and they found a way to justify what they done. They love to justify things. They justify slavery. They justify oppression of women. Anything they do, they justify. You sit there and make a deal with this devil, North Korea, that's the countdown to your end begins. Believe that. And with that said, I'm going to get to your common sense guy, because I know you're burning up inside. I know you are. But ladies first. Sister, brother, you there?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Oh, yeah, okay. Ladies first.
I agree with everything you just said.
And you know,
I concur 1,000% with everything you just said. First off, I want to make one thing perfectly clear. I am not here to convince white people of anything at this point. I don't claim to be an expert in anything. I just look at my own life. All I can do is look at my own life, and I look at the people around me, and I can see the misery. Yeah. You can actually feel the misery. You can cut through it like you cutting a sandwich. You understand? You can see the misery. Yes. And the unhappiness in my everyday surroundings. And how hard life is for the majority of Black people in America and around the world. Yes. I mean, there's 2 billion of us on the planet, but we're the poorest people on the planet. I wish I could be optimistic about the future of Black people, but unfortunately, I cannot. I do know that integration has done absolutely nothing to build a Black economy in America and globally. Black capitalism is not the cure for white capitalism. Capitalism does nothing except exploit Black people and people of color. That's all capitalism does. It rapes us of all of our resources and wealth. Black people are here today than they were in the 1800s. In fact, Black people in America and globally have no resources. No real access to real wealth. Let me repeat that. Black people in America and globally have no resources. No real access to real wealth. We have our entertainers, our rappers, comedians, actors, musicians, singers, doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, but collectively Black and African people are still the poorest people on the planet. 99% of the wealth and resources in America are controlled by white men and their families. The future does not look very bright for Black children living today, as white supremacists have monopolized most of the world's wealth and resources. Africa has been pillaged for thousands of years by white Caucasian invaders. Black Black and African people are not in a good economic position globally. And it will be horrendous for us 20 years from now, as white globalists and white supremacists will control all of the food supply in the world within at least the next 10 years. I am not here to convince white people of anything. You need to go get with your people and end the system of racism and white supremacy.
Right.
Then we can talk. Until then, I don't want to hear what you have to say. Get with your people and end the system of racism and white supremacy. That's just like a white Christian trying to preach to me about morality. It's redundant. It's redundant at this point because really you have no moral ground to stand on unless you end the system of racism and white supremacy. And you know what I'm talking about. So don't try to play like you don't know what time it is, because you know what time it is. We all do. We all do. That's it.
All righty then. Okay. Yeah, I agree. And I like to say this right before I bring the common sense guy on. What Sister was saying about Caucasian people, or I said pink people, and I want to explain why I said pink people. It's nothing to make mockery or nothing like that. Caucasian people label folks. Our people, our ancestors did not call us black. They did not call themselves African. These are names that was put on us, forced on us by the conquerors. So I call you pink because since you like to name people, then I'm going to name you. Well, I'm white. How you gonna name me? Well, it's good enough for you to name people. Why can't I name you? In fact, when I call you pink, it has nothing to do with racism because the word pink is not associated with nothing that has caused you harm. Nothing at all. Except it's just, matter of fact, to call you pink is a response, as the sisters say, to racism, white supremacy. This was forced on us. There's no dark-skinned people on this planet that call themselves Africans or black or Negro or colored prior to racism and colonialism. That did not happen. So in order to, it's just like women and men. In order to have an effect against the oppression of women in this country and around the earth, men have to deal with other men on this issue. Women can't get the job done. That's just how it goes. They can go to a certain point and cry and whatever, and they might get a little relief. But a man has to step to another man and say, look, we're no longer going to tolerate oppression of women. That's the bottom line. A lot of men not going to do that because they actually like feeling superior and better than a woman. That's why they won't do it. They want to, I'm the head of household. I'm the one next to God. They like that kind of stuff. So in order to change this type of condition, I can talk till I'm blue in the face, red, white, and blue in the face, whatever. It takes Caucasian people who are sincere to go to other Caucasian people who will blow their brains out. You will be called an in lover and all like that. See, that's the people, that's the only person that can change things. In this country, it didn't make no difference what a slave said. It took Caucasian people and they ended up having a civil war. It took Caucasian people versus Caucasian people in order to bring that system to a close. However, slavery did not end. What happened was they was very slick and it just changed forms. They just changed the way they was doing things. But even so, it took Caucasian people versus Caucasian people in order to change or get rid of that system, point blank. So, you know, I can talk all I want to. Sister can talk all she wants to. The only one who can deal with the system and change it are those who created it. And with that said, I'm going to pass the mic out to the common sense guy. And I'm glad that you're here, sir. And I'm pretty sure that you got a whole different take on this. And I promise I'll keep my mouth shut. You got it. So roll.
Actually, you'll be very, very surprised, actually, to be fair with you, my friend. I don't have a complete different take
Oh, you don't?
No, not a complete different take. No. If somebody wants to go off and form their own country or form their own state and wants to entice and then invite other people to come into it, then I don't have a problem with that. It's just a case of what you have to do to get that state. That's the bit where I have a problem. I know you said that you would, if it come to it, you would initiate violence. If it come to it, I'm not saying that you're preaching it or trying to go down that road. You're not. You're saying if it was to come, then you would. That's the bit that I have a problem with. If people want to go off and do their own thing, I don't have a problem with that. I really, really don't.
Okay.
I do have a problem with the fact that people look at themselves, for instance, as Sister has said. Sorry, I don't know your name, so I'm just using the colloquial that Realities is used. And Sister has said on the stream, she said, well, if I look at my life, I can take the same occurrences from what happened to mine. And yes, I do know that I'm completely different to you, same as I'm different to Sir. But I can still go against the machine, so to speak. I still rage against it by saying that it's not a perfect vessel, and it's not a perfect vessel. But the way that you deal with imperfect vessels is not running away from it, is not separating from it. It's trying to fix it within. It's trying to actually fix it and work together with it. Now, I'm not preaching unity. I'm not preaching the fact that everybody needs to hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Because let's be honest, everybody's different. We said this at the beginning in the stream. Everybody's different. Everybody has different tolerant levels. Everybody has different levels of appreciation of what's going on. It's a case of once you start integrating, the best form of integration in itself is the fact that people lose their fear and lose their prejudice of what's happening and what's happened. And unfortunately, it's a case of with yourselves in the US, the government in itself has not been kind to you. And we would all agree with you on that. We would. All the way up to the 1960s, to the 70s, maybe possibly to the 80s. We would agree with you that the government hasn't been treating you well in general, and it hasn't looked after you well. But at the same time, it's a case of you still have the power to be able to pull yourselves up again now. But it's still a case that we have to work together. I need to pull you up to pull myself up. Because if I can't pull you up, I can't pull myself up. And if you can't pull me up, you can't pull yourself up. It's the same ideology as what you were talking about before. That if we were to actually look at true equality, then we have to look at each other without any racial barriers, without the point of calling people names, without the point of trying to emote what different races are and what we've done in the past. Yes, we need to remember the past, and nobody's saying that we shouldn't remember what's happened in the past. Nobody's saying that. But we need to remember that what's happening now is not the past, and we need to move forward, and we need to move forward together. And the more that we move forward together, the stronger that we will become. It doesn't need to be that we have to live hand in hand with each other, though. I thought I'd leave that there.
Okay. All right. All right. Let me say this in response to what you just said. And again, wow, that was short, common sense guy. I thought I could go and grab me a soda or something real quick. But look, I concur with some of what you're saying, but this is the main problem here. You're talking about fixing the system or whatever because it's not perfect. Well, see, the problem here is, or that you might have to understand, the system from its very beginning, from the foundation of the system, it was designed to be against dark-skinned people, not only in America, but around the earth. You cannot fix that which was designed to destroy a people, because that's not what it was designed for. It was designed to subjugate and conquer so they can do what they have done. So you're going to ask that same system that was designed, that was programmed to destroy dark-skinned people, you're going to tell me that it's possible to go in that system when its very foundation of that system, it was designed to destroy myself and sister. That's what it was designed for. And that's what it's doing. No matter how you flip it around, no matter what you do, that's what it ends up doing. Here in the United States, no matter how you flip it around, no matter what you do, it still is doing what it was designed to do, and that is to harass and destroy and to keep in a slave-like condition dark-skinned people, to keep the lighter people on top and the dark-skinned people on the bottom. Even to the point, even in our own communities, you have prejudice against dark-skinned people. There are the lighter people in this country have an advantage because of that light skin, because they are closer looking like those who are in power or the dominant culture. They have an advantage. So you have two video models. They can go to the same video shoot, and chances are, and history will tell you and show you in the history of rap music in this country, you will see a gang of light-skinned women. That's what you will see. That's done on purpose. You will see a little handful of dark-skinned women, but that's done on purpose. That's how it was designed. That's your system. This system cannot be fixed because it was designed to destroy the darker and raise up the lighter. That's the system. You can, once you use a toilet, it's in use. You can't fix the turds floating around. You have to flush it and clean it and start from scratch with the next flush. Nobody wants to come behind you if you did not flush that toilet. You got to flush the old out and bring in the new. In America, we have been trying. Look, in America. Now, mind you, we have done nothing to these people. Nothing at all. We have been trying to work things and live with these people in peace. We did not go to them and burn a cross on their lawn. We did not go to them, kill the father, hang the father, and rape the mother. We did not do none of these things to them.
Nor did I.
I'm not saying this. I'm talking about this is a
I know, but you're lumping everybody in together.
No, we're not. I'm not lumping everybody. I'm talking about what the actions of a certain group of people in this country.
Sorry, you didn't clarify. You were quite open by saying that you, meaning everybody in that particular graphic.
No, I'm not saying everybody, because that would be a lie. That would be a lie. I'm not going to lie on nobody. Now, the thing about this ministry here is I am going to be fair and honest with everybody. I'm not going to, if you didn't do something, I'm not going to say that you done it. And I told you personally, you have done nothing to me. Okay? So I have nothing against you. However, there's a certain group of people that do certain things.
Now a minority.
There's a certain group of people who do certain things, and then their brothers and sisters take a blind eye and they look the other way. There's no way in this country there were people in this country who confessed that they murdered black folks, and the jury still let them free. This is the type of situation that we're in. It has not changed. It has not changed.
How long ago was that?
Okay. So
how long ago was that?
How long ago was that?
Yeah.
It still happens. It still happens today in these courthouses.
Can you show me one single point? I don't want to call you out on your show, but please show me one, because then I'll do a video on it. Because if that actually happens, then that's a grave misconduct of justice and needs to be pointed out.
You got a famous case like George Zimmerman. George Zimmerman shot this boy in the heart. There's no doubt about it. He was not justified in doing that. But a jury decided to let this murderer go. I don't care how he tells the story.
I'm not familiar with that case. What actually happened? Because I'm not actually familiar with that case.
Well, like I said, we don't have the time to really research that or whatever. We have to do that off time. Then we come back and do another hangout or something on that. But I can't.
Okay, sorry.
But the bottom line is, and my sister would bear witness, and she's not the only one. Now you have those who live in oppression, and they just learn. They just want to work with it. You know, just like you said, let's just fix the system. And they tolerate certain things. There are some of us who refuse to do that. And I'm one of them. I'm not going to tolerate that type of crap. It's a disservice to myself and as well as my future generations to continue to live in this type of manner. We've been here for 500 years in the United States of America, and like you said, we vote, we fight for this country, we pay our taxes, we do everything that we're supposed to do, makes no difference, we still end up getting the short end of the stick. Matter of fact, not only the short end of the stick, you end up in the morgue. That's where you end up at. And we should not have to tolerate
you have President Obama as a president for 2
You know,
terms.
it was a little boy. Oh, speaking about that, what's his name? Tamir Rice. Tamir Rice was a little boy that do what all little boys do. He's in the park playing with a toy gun. And these Caucasian guys, cops roll up on him. And they end up shooting this little, 10, 12-year-old little boy. He's playing with cops and robbers, whatever, with a toy gun.
Yeah, an imitation gun. Hang on just a second. Hang on just a second. It was an imitation gun that looked very, very similar to a gun. When the police pulled up to him, he was not paying attention to what the police were doing. He did not actually do any of the things that the police asked him to do. In fact, he started running towards them with the gun drawn.
Wow. Thank you for justifying murder by the police. Thank you,
no, I'm not justifying it. I'm saying that there's extenuating circumstances. There's circumstances to the actual point. Rather than you just saying that the police murdered him in cold blood, I still believe that it was wrong for them to do that. But you can look at the circumstances and you can see that the circumstances, you can understand the reasons why. Still does not give them the right to take the child's life, though.
Do you know how many toy guns that looked real when I was growing up, and we used to run around and play all the time, and how many cops used to pass by us all the time?
How many people died back in your time by gangs?
It was a few. Now,
was it anywhere near the same as what it is today?
Me personally, I live like
what it is today.
Huh? Now, me
was
personally,
it the same as what it is today?
I lived in the rural type areas, but I did hear about these incidents, you know, in the bigger cities that were surrounding us.
Sure. But as I said, was it anywhere near the same amount as people dying today from gang-related violence?
Now, I tell you, now, speaking about me, this is the 1970s. And you keep talking about this system that we need to work with. Now, this is something outside the system. This is something outside of law. This is something that's understood. And it's just something that we know about. It's not written on paper. It's not a law, but it's something that's understood. This is the 1970s. When I was a little boy, there was something called the sundown law. I didn't know nothing about it. I didn't know actually what it was called. Only thing I knew is that during the day, being a dark-skinned person, you can go to the white community and they let you shop all you want. But it was something that was understood. When the sun, that's why it's called the sundown law. When the sun started to go down, you better get the hell out of there. So one day, me and my friends, we was on the border between the pink community and the soul community, right? And with some brothers there, they wanted some beer or whatever. And the only store that was open was, on, of course, on the Caucasian side of the fence. So they rolled up and decided, I guess they thought it was going to make it real quick. Go grab what they want and get the hell back on the other side. Didn't work. Within a few minutes, the police ran up on them. That was the first time I seen a beat down. That's the first time I seen somebody go to jail. This is, like I said, this is not a law that was written down on paper. This was something that was understood. This is part of your system that you talk about.
It's not part of the system now. It's not part of the system.
And you want to know something? I really believe that in some communities in America right now, I really believe that stuff is still going on.
Prove it then.
I said I believe.
That's why I said prove it.
Yeah, I still believe that it's still going on. Because it's something that's understood. It's not something that you talk about. It's not something that's written on paper. It's something that's understood. But see, I don't have to worry about that. When I separate from you, I don't have to worry about no stuff like that. I don't have to worry about the sundown law because there will be no pink community to walk into. Don't have to worry about that stuff. You do you.
There will be if you wanted to trade, but you mean in general. I get your point, but there would be if you wanted to trade.
I'm sorry, it sort of broke up. I didn't hear you.
I said that you would have to eventually if you wanted to trade, but I understand your point that you wouldn't have to in your own segregation.
Well, I'll tell you this. See, you don't even have to trade, really. You just be content in what you can produce, and we stay to ourselves, and you stay to your. I don't like if you have bananas. It was nice to eat a banana, but I don't need a banana that bad if it's gonna cause this garbage again. No, don't want to do it. I can live without bananas. I can eat beans forever. I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't have to trade with you. I don't want no trade with you, and there's strings attached. What do you want? Like we was talking about, I think, on our last conversation. You think that you're going to sleep with my daughter, or no. My son is not gonna mess with your daughter. You know, your son not gonna mess with my daughter. If you want trade, if you want good relations, keep your people over there, and I keep mine over here. That's the reason why we separate. If I wanted to be together, I will be there with you. There's a reason why we separated. Understand?
Yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Mutual
and that's
respect.
your opinion.
Mutual respect. You know.
That's fine. That's your opinion. That's your opinion. I would accept it. But what happens to people that don't accept it? That they see each other from opposing sides of the fence, so to speak, and then they fall in love, and they're not my daughter, and they're not your son, and we don't have control over them, and they decide that they're going to run off and be with each other. Are we going to both end up killing them to stop them from seeing each other, or separating them, or completely putting them into a separate prison? How do we stop people from actually doing that? Because as Malcolm would say from Jurassic Park, life always finds a way.
Yeah, well, you know, see, look, this interracial thing or whatever, it's not nothing new. It's not nothing new. And it has been going on for a long, long time. The problem is, a lot of this stuff was going on because there was mutual respect between the nations. This relationship that we have is an involuntary one. It did not happen because of respect. African people or those on the continent was not running to Europe. I got to have me a white penis. I got to have me some white vagina. That ain't what happened. The Europeans came up out of Europe and colonized and raped those people and forced themselves on those people. Even your dog. If your dog had the dog's way, a dog or a chicken, whatever you have as a pet, would have nothing to do with you in the wild. Go out into the field right now and try to pet a deer. Most animals run away. Most animals run away. They won't have nothing to do with you.
But when they're the same animal, though, they generally
your dog is domesticated. Your dog was forced to have this relationship with people. Then it's different. It was a forced relationship.
Mm-hmm. Now, so generally, when the animals are the same,
it's not one of mutual respect. I've seen pictures of primitive tribes. They have dogs and little other animals in their tribe, but those animals, the way they was treating them, they could really run off anytime they felt like it. The animals, for some reason, they just was like part of the tribe or whatever. And see, that's different.
So is that a white man training the animal to stay with him, or is that the white man training the black man to do the animal stuff? Well, where are you going with that one?
It's the same thing like if you was raised in prison. If you was raised in prison and the only thing you know is prison walls, then you see the warden as a friend. You see all the jailers as a friend. You see all these people as a friend because that's all that you know. You don't understand that you should not be in prison, that you have a life and that you can be free. Just like your dog. Your dog don't understand that the dog can live on his own. The dog don't need to go to the vet. The dog knows how to take care of itself. It knows how to eat all of his own. Well, some of these breeds do. Some of these animals have been so domesticated without people, they would die.
Yeah.
But if it was not for domestication, they would have nothing to do with you. Most animals, as soon as you show up, they will either flee. If they can't run, they'll be ready to attack you because they think that you're going to cause them serious harm. So
yeah, the reason why I said what I said, Mr. Snubnub, is because you're talking about different animals that are different to humans, where we are the same human species, whether you want to say there's difference in DNA or not. If you want to say there's differences in DNA or not, then that's fine. I'll agree with you for the purpose of this argument. But we are the same race. We are the same race, even if it's just by difference. But we are the same, which means that we would group together naturally. The same as monkeys and chimps and most great apes group together and calling them troops.
All right, my sister want to respond to you speaking about we're all the same, I believe.
Cool, sorry.
Let me ask common sense. Have you ever read a book called The Iceman?
Sorry, I didn't hear what you said. Please repeat. I didn't hear what you said.
Have you ever read a book called The Iceman?
No, I have not. No.
Well, I read it a long time ago. It's written by a white author who claims that, you know, white men they are more aggressive. They are more psychologically prone to violence than dark people around the world. Now, this is coming from a white guy who did the research, you know, and he wrote a book called The Iceman. You might want to check it out.
I believe it's the Iceman Inheritance.
It really explains a lot of things about the aggression of white men, about the psychological need to control and dominate. It really explains a lot about the psychology of the average white male. I mean, that's why you have a lot of school shootings, because white men are more psychologically prone to violence.
Yeah, I disagree with that last point. Sorry, I disagree with that last point. Please continue afterwards. Please continue afterwards. But I need to make this point.
And you know, the system can be fixed. And I'm thinking to myself, where is this guy from? Where are you from? Do you live in America? Like, do you live in the United States of America? Because
no, I live in the United Kingdom.
So what?
I live in the United Kingdom. I live in England.
Oh, see, that explains it. Okay, that explains it. Because I know someone, you know, that lives in the UK, and but he's an African. He's an African. His family is from the UK, and I'm talking to him about what's going on over here in America when it comes to Black people being economically and socially oppressed. He doesn't understand. He has no clue. And I even got frustrated with him one day last week because he wants to live over here in America. He wants to come over here and live in this country that oppresses Black people. And I'm telling him, you would be better off living in Canada. You would be better off living in Africa. You would.
No, that's statistically absolutely wrong. You would have to move to South Africa to even get anywhere near anything, or Nigeria. That's statistically wrong.
You have the thought process that you have. You live in the UK. Not that racism and white supremacy does not exist in the UK, but you really have no idea of what's going on over here.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes
so does that mean I'm not allowed to talk about it then?
Of racism and white supremacy.
Does that mean I'm not allowed to talk about it then?
How they disproportionately lock up young Black males.
For what crimes? For what crimes?
I'm sorry, say that again?
I said for what crimes?
I'm sorry. I can barely hear you because I'm on the phone. I was unable to get into Google Hangout, and I'm on the phone. Say that
no problem.
He said for what crimes?
I'm sorry, say that again.
He said for what crimes are these men being charged with? What kind of crime?
Well, a lot of them, you know, is non-payment of child support.
Isn't that a felony?
Non-payment of child support.
Isn't that a felony?
You know, I mean, I think that even in that situation, because a lot of Black men, honestly, a lot of Black men are just not really able financially to take care of their children. And that's unfortunate because they laid down and had the children. So, you know, they should have thought about that before they laid down and had these children. You know, but
isn't that a felony?
A lot of Black men are not financially able to take care of their own children.
Then they shouldn't have children. Same as white people can't have children if they can't afford it.
Say that again?
I said this. Then they shouldn't have children. The same as white people shouldn't have kids if they can't afford them.
And that's why I don't have any.
Exactly.
That's why I don't have any.
Exactly, but isn't it a felony? Isn't it a felony?
Consequences of having children in this system of racism and white supremacy.
But we've just gone. Hang on, just a second, please.
Economically oppressed like I've been, and I just did not want children. For some reason, I did not want children.
Okay.
And I can understand now why I did.
Okay, no problem. So we've literally just gone through a second ago that both white men and both black men that can't afford to have kids shouldn't have kids. So where is the systemic racism in that? If white men have children, they have to pay for their kids. If they can't afford the kids, they go to prison as well. They go to prison as well. The same as if black men do the same thing.
Longer prison sentences.
Sorry?
Understand, the system gives them a longer prison term.
Right.
Okay, and white men are in the same.
Where's your statistics for that? Because I can't see that.
But the black men get longer prison sentences.
Yeah, as I said, where's your statistics for that? I haven't seen that in any sort of form of FBI statistics.
Also, it doesn't help that they don't have the money or the financial resources to get themselves out of jail. So
that means they're not getting longer sentences then. Hang on, hang on just a second, please. Hang on just a second, please.
Don't have their best interest.
Okay, fine. So basically what you're saying is that they're not getting longer sentences. It's just that white men have more people that are able to help them financially get themselves out of that situation. So they're not getting longer sentences. They're just able to get bail quicker.
They have more means to, capital than most black men in this country. I mean, it's easy to get yourself out of trouble when you got money.
Mm-hmm.
But when you lack money, when you lack resources, it's very difficult to get yourself out of trouble.
Right.
No, it's not. It's the same as anywhere. You get a job.
And don't lose your job, because don't lose your job. It's really going to go horribly wrong for you if you lose your job in this country, especially if you have generational poverty. See, most black people are born in generational poverty.
Right.
Whereas most white people are born in generational wealth. Okay? So they want somebody that got the money. They have, cousins and uncles and aunties, and they
but that also means that the person who's gone to prison hasn't got the money in the first place. And it's exactly what I said. They had more people to help them get out of it. I just said that. I literally just covered this. I thought we were talking about separation and not going into the ideals of what people believe is oppression or not oppression.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I said we've literally just gone over this. I said that, yes, the white people have more people that would be able to help them. But in the same situation, the white man and the black man in the same situation are exactly the same. It's just because more white people have more money. That's it. That makes them be able to bow out the other person. It's not about that they get longer sentences. It's not that they get incarcerated longer or for quicker times. It's the case that they have more money to be able to pay themselves out.
No, sir.
Racism exists in the criminal injustice system. Everything is about race in this country. It doesn't.
Of course it is. That's why you had a black president for 2 terms.
Okay, all right. Everything is about race in this country. Everything. It's not really about who has more money. A lot of times it is about racism. It's about the color of one's skin. Like, a lot of race soldiers, I call them, race soldiers, they're police officers, white police officers, they'll pull over a black driver quicker than they will a white one.
Uh-huh.
Because it's statistically more likely to be a criminal.
In Atlanta, where I live, they'll profile black drivers quicker than they will a white driver.
Yes, because statistically, more black people are unfortunately targets of more criminality. It's on the FBI statistics. The reasons are there. The reason why they profile black people more, or black men in particular places, is because that they are more likely to commit a crime statistically. As you quite rightly have said, before, you are roughly 13 to 16% of the whole US population, but yet account for over 53% of the crimes. You are statistically more likely to commit a crime than a white person.
Oh my God!
See,
I'm not trying to be funny. Like, believe that black, more crime.
I don't know. Do they form more gangs than white people? I don't know. Do they form more gangs than white people over there?
They are lying to you.
See,
I'm keeping real. I mean, that is a white supremacist talking point. Do you understand what you just said?
You mean I'm quoting the FBI statistics that are written by white, blacks, Mexicans, and Asians? Yes, I'm talking about white supremacy.
I say that is a white supremacist talking point that you just regurgitated.
Well, you mean a white supremacy talking point that is actually true by facts, by actual people in the FBI that are white, black, Hispanic, and Latin American, as well as also being Asian?
See, this is the reason. This is the reason why that we need to separate, because you have the mentality of the common sense guy. He's not the only one that thinks this way. You know, he thinks
I'm not the only one who uses statistics to back up my argument, rather than using anecdotal evidence.
You act like these statistics is real. These some made up, fabricated, garbage bull.
They're put up by actual numbers and people that are in prison.
These people are liars. The FBI is a liar.
Oh, everybody's a liar. That's the same thing that flat earthers say about NASA. That's the same thing that flat earthers say about NASA. NASA's not real. It's all a lie. It's a government conspiracy. We're so oppressed.
You want to know something? See, again, this is the same man. He admits and tells me he don't know Black history. You don't know Black history.
I said I don't know all of it.
Black history? No, you don't know none of
all of it. I said I don't know all of it.
You don't know Black history. Second of all, you have not lived I've lived 50 years in this damn country.
Yeah, and I've lived 36. I've lived 32 years. I've lived 32 years.
The only thing you can do, sir, is copy some statistics. The FBI, who destroyed our leadership, who is trying to make our lives better. They actually killed our leaders, the FBI. And you want me to accept some FBI statistic, some CIA statistic from a governing organization?
They killed JFK as well, didn't they?
I ain't talking about J. I'm talking about J. Edgar Hoover and the boy.
I know who you're talking about. I understand who you're talking about. You're talking about conspiracy theories, and I understand that. The same thing for JFK. People think that the CIA killed JFK.
But see, that's the thing. See, there's no need to debate and argue. The only thing we have to do is you go on your side of the fence, I go on my side of the fence.
But that's the point of discussion.
And common sense guy, take your FBI statistics with you when you go to the FBI on the other side of the fence. We won't need them. We won't need them no more. We won't need those statistics no more, because ain't no FBI gonna be running around doing that stuff to us no more.
But you are going to have a criminal. You are going to have a criminal bureau, though, aren't you, of some description?
Oh, of course. I mean,
so they'll have their own statistics later on, then, won't they?
Yes, we will. But guess what?
That's good. I look forward to seeing those statistics.
It won't be based on racism. It won't be.
It's not based on racism. It's based on statistical data.
By who? By a bunch of liars. No liars.
I've already just said it. They are based on white people. They're based on Black people. They're based on Mexican people. They're based on Latin American people. They're based on Asian people. They are based on the whole demographic of the American race.
You mean to tell me? So basically, you telling me that Black folks have a criminal, for some reason, they have a criminal nature. That's what you're saying.
Every human does.
No. You are saying that the Black man, the soul brothers and sisters in this country, we have a criminal nature. That's the reason why we locked up. Because for some reason, we're just born criminals. We just got to steal something. We just got to smoke some dope. The most law-abiding people in this country is the Black man and woman in America.
Okay, so why are they in prison?
Patriotic. We are the most law-abiding. The reason why the Mexicans are trying to kill each other, trying to get drugs in this country, is because of Caucasian people. That's the reason why. They the drug
Nothing to do with them at all. Nothing to do with them at all.
So if they the drug addicts, how the hell they not going? How come they're not in the damn jail cell? You mean to tell me they drug addicts and don't commit no damn crime to get their damn drug? That's a criminal act in and of itself. But for some reason, just the Black folks, 50%. That's by design. Like I told you,
of course it is.
The system that you're talking about, sir, was designed.
Of course.
And remember this: slavery was legal.
And it was abolished by white men. You forget that.
But it was legal. So they used their law.
By white men.
So they use their law to target a certain group of people, just like with this crack cocaine thing. Caucasian people in this country, most of them use cocaine. Majority of black folks or dark-skinned people was using crack. But the law set it up so the both of them are cocaine. Cocaine is cocaine. The crack is cocaine, and the powder cocaine is still cocaine. But since the Caucasian people use the powder, they got less sentences when they got caught up. But the ones who did crack, some of these people are still in prison right now for the rest of their lives. It's still cocaine.
You do realize that cocaine and crack are two different things, don't you? You do realize that crack and cocaine are two different things, don't you? Like crack is what you sniff, cocaine is what you sniff, and cocaine is where you actually put it into a bottle and how.
Cocaine is cocaine.
Something different.
Orange juice is orange juice. So some orange juice is concentrated.
No, not in this instance, it's not.
Pulp out of it. You take the pulp out of it, or whatever. Orange juice is orange juice.
Not in this case, it's not. No,
not in this case, because they made a differentiation between one from the other, so they can target this one group of people and let go of
one has been one is synthesized and one is supposedly more natural. One actually causes more incidents where you're actually going to cause more problems, and one is actually not as big as a problem. That's why there is a difference in why people smoke it and how they inhale it. There's two different things. You know that, don't you?
It don't make no difference how it's done.
Of course it doesn't.
Marijuana is marijuana. It don't make no difference what kind of marijuana it is. Marijuana is marijuana. It's just, let's just start with it. But the thing about it is that you target a certain group because you know they use this kind. That's just the bottom line. But see, again, there is no
marijuana has many different strains.
There is no debate.
Marijuana has many different strains for a start. I'm sorry, but I'm not letting you get away with the actual point of saying that. It's a case of marijuana has many different strains. In fact, you can even mix other drugs with marijuana to call it something completely different, like white widows and white rhinos and things like that. You have loads of different ways of being able to even use marijuana. In fact, the way of being able to eat it and digest it causes you a hell of a lot of more hallucinogenic properties than if you smoke it. For a fact, you can also take the THC contents out of it and just use the cannabinoids out of it. There's loads of different ways that you can use marijuana, same as there's loads of different ways you can use different drugs.
Guess what? Guess what? We don't even have to argue. You go on your side of the fence. Separation ends the whole argument. You take your crack cocaine, your law on your side of the fence. We do our thing. You do your thing. Don't have to worry about it no more. Now, if you come on our side, now see if we want to be just like you, when you bring your ass on our side of the fence, and you do something, we know that it's something that you like, we'll make a law to put your ass in jail for the rest of your life. Now, how you like that? Now, how you like that? As long
as we actually break the law, then that's fine.
No, your best bet is to stay on your side of the damn fence. That will solve, see, separation solves this problem. Somebody said,
all the separation does is make isolation out of the people that actually go to the separation. You fought to actually end separation from Jim Crow, and now you're actually pushing for separation again. What do you want? Do you want to be separate? Do you want to be part of Jim Crow laws where you're separate, or do you want to have, integration? What do you want?
Yes, that would be best. Yes, we was doing better before. We was actually doing better during Jim Crow. The only thing we wanted. The only thing Martin Luther King wanted, he did not want integration. The only thing they wanted to be was treated like a human being. That's the only thing they wanted. There was no sign talking about, I want to integrate with white folks. Just leave me the hell alone. I pay to sit in front of the bus, treat me like a human being. That's all they wanted. They did not want to integrate. That was something.
That would be part of integration if you're using the same buses.
That was something that happened later on that was a detriment.
But wait, I thought that they wanted to be able to use the same buses and the same water fountains and be able to use the same toilets and go into the same music stores and go into the same places. I thought that was what they wanted.
No.
Oh, sorry. What was it then? What was it that they wanted?
Look, you are an American citizen.
No, I'm not.
You should have access. No, I'm not you. We are American citizens. We should have access to public facilities. And
you do.
Not then we didn't. There was color. There was a color one. And then there was actually me myself. I liked it myself.
So basically they were pushing for integration and so they could use the same facilities.
But here you are, an American citizen. and they're gonna tell you you got to sit in the back of the bus. You're an American citizen. They're gonna tell you, well, you can't eat at this restaurant. You can't do it. All this is public facility. You die and you pay taxes just like any other citizen, but you got to sit in the back of the bus. That's what they was fighting for. Just
so they push for integration.
Human rights. That's what they was fighting for.
So they push for integration. Thank you.
With your daughter.
So they push for integration. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that's right. They did. They pushed integration.
Thank you.
They pushed integration, not knowing that they was going to destroy themselves.
Oh, okay.
They did it in ignorance.
Of course they did.
Once the ball got rolling, that was not the original.
That's what you just said. That's what they were fighting for, so they could be American citizens.
They was already American.
That's what they wanted.
You're born an American citizen. You didn't have to fight for that. The problem is you live in a society that didn't want to give you what's yours. Yeah,
exactly. So they had to fight to become American citizens. I'm agreeing with you, but I'm saying that they were fighting to become proper American citizens, unfortunately, because of those laws that were in place that prohibited them. So they wanted to become American citizens and integrate into American society.
No, because America is not integrated right now. You got the Chinese community, you got the English community, you got the German community. America is not integrated right now. You got the Amish that's living in the rural areas all by themselves. This is not no melting down pot.
Yeah, but they don't own the state. They don't own the state.
The problem is everybody is getting their own, and everybody's leeching on us.
Look at Chicago.
Because we're not.
Look at Chicago then.
What about Chicago then? What about Chicago?
Isn't it majority black by the percentages of itself? Isn't that technically your ethno state? I mean, your separated state?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay.
No, it's not. Caucasian people run and control the politics of Chicago. And
I thought there was lots of black people that are actually running the politics in there. I thought it was actually around about 50%.
You would think so, since they are the majority, but that ain't how it goes. That's not how it rolls.
Oh, okay. I thought that it was actually in the Senate up there. I thought it was around about 50%.
Well, I don't know. I don't know. I know that the major cities that I know of that's majority dark-skinned population, they don't control and run nothing.
Okay.
That's because they divide. That's because we're divided, and the Caucasian people who are the minority, they stick together, get the majority of the votes, and they run the city. That's simple.
So even though they were able to vote Democrats for the last 2 years, for the last 2 terms. But actually, no, longer than that, wasn't it?
Why y'all keep bringing up Obama? What is Obama?
I didn't. I said they voted for Democrats, which if you were going to go forward and actually say that most people of color end up voting for Democrats for particular reasons, and their reasons are their own. So if you were going to say that, if you were going to say that it was a case that white people have been voting in their own politicians for God knows however long, then they would have been voting in Republicans, would they not? Rather than actually voting in Democrats.
Look, first of all, when you come to somebody like Obama, Obama is a different kind of dark-skinned man. Matter of fact, he's what they would call a mulatto. And that's why he was accepted. Jesse Jackson ran for the presidency back in 1984. And there was no bunch of Caucasian people in line trying to vote for him. But Obama was a special guy. The thing about Jesse Jackson, we know, and a lot of us may not like Jesse, but we know that he will do things for the poor and do things to help the condition of dark-skinned people in this nation.
Don't you think Obama, the actual point that you made
wait a minute. First of all, that's a different situation. I don't even want to talk about that. The topic is justification for black separation from white folks. And like I said early in this conversation, I don't have to justify a damn thing. You go to your side of the fence, I go to mine, and if you want trade, we got to have mutual respect. If you don't have mutual respect for me, I don't need your apples, your corn, whatever the hell you producing. I can live without. I stay on my side of the fence, you stay on yours. It's simple as that. See, that makes things much, much easier. Just separate. Because see, your idea of justice, your idea of how you view things is much, much different from mine. Your idea, your way of thinking gets me killed. Your way of thinking gets me murdered. Your way of thinking sends me to the morgue. So it's best for me, you go your way, I go my way. That's the easiest. That's the easiest.
It is the easiest, but where are you going to go? How are you going to take over a particular
That's no concern of yours, sir.
It will be, because there'll be other white people there, there'll be other people there as well.
That's no concern of yours.
It will be though when it happens, won't it?
When it happens, then if I get my own, and it does nothing to bother you, what the hell you got to talk about it for?
No, I wouldn't. But the point is that if you do it anywhere in America, it's going to annoy or bother the American citizens, is it not? Because you're going to actually try to separate a state from the US.
No, nobody's separating a state from the US. No, who's talking about that? I didn't say nothing about separating a state from the US.
Okay, so you're talking about just generally and racially profiling a whole state to be able to integrate them into just being a particular racial sect.
Well, again, sir, that's none of your concern. That's the concern of those who are isolationists, which is the new word, isolationists. Isolationists work to become separatists. So I'm an isolationist. You first isolate. In order to cure any disease, you isolate that illness from the rest of the body. When you get radiation therapy, you don't radiate the whole body. You concentrate on that cancer. So what we're doing, and you quarantine yourself from the sick. The only thing we're doing is the same thing they do in medical school. Isolate and quarantine. That's what we're doing. That's what we want to do. And it does nothing to bother nobody. But though the only one of whom it would bother are those who want to continue to exploit and hurt and maim and kill. That's the only one.
I'm not even bringing that up.
They want to continue their award-winning way. And see,
I'm not even bringing that up.
Those days are coming to an end. I mean,
I'm not even bringing that up.
How long you think people are going to sit around and let people beat on them, kill them for no reason, and all this kind of stuff? It's got to come to a head. Like again, I say, if we could do it in a non-violent manner, it's all peaches and cream. But if you have to pick up a gun, a nuclear bomb, or whatever it takes to get you off my damn back, so be it. Military action is optional. Yes, it is. Yes. But again, me separating from you shouldn't hurt nobody. I'm not doing nothing. I didn't
say it did. I didn't say the initial point of actually separating or you separating is going to hurt anybody. And I'm not bringing up the point of people don't want you to leave because they want to have their slaves or whatever you want to use as a derogatory term for it or whatever. I'm saying that if you were to separate, wherever you would go would affect the people that are already in that area.
Right, I understand that. We dealing with that. We know how to deal with that too. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about it. Just stay on your side of the fence. Matter of fact, I can guarantee you the ones that want to be among us would rather be among us because we're going to give them justice. We're going to give them life. They don't have to worry about that. All those statistics of criminality, all that we're going to change because we're going to be different from the outside world in our little world, in our part of the pond.
I understand that.
About it. Right. So
I'm
not worried about those different things.
That's fine. That's not where my argument was. That's not where my argument was. If you were to find an uninhabited island, so to speak, that was close enough where you could do whatever you wanted and even had the land bridge, so to speak, or whatever, you know, so it made everything easy and it wasn't actually inhabited by anybody. That's fine. I have no problem. Do that. Be yourselves. It wouldn't bother me. It wouldn't bother anybody. No, it wouldn't bother anybody. It really wouldn't bother anybody. But the problem and the point that I'm making.
I understand. I understand your point that you're making. It's going to be done. It's got to be done. So what? And it's not going to bother. It's not going to bother nobody. It's not going to bother nobody at all. See, the thing about it. See, look. I don't know. Some of y'all think that the Negro is stupid.
Nope.
That's what it is. You think we have no creativity. You think that we're not smart. We're not intelligent.
No, you're trying to put words into my mouth. I've already said that.
I'm saying that in general. I'm not saying you as a person. I'm not. See, stop being emotional. Comments.
I'm not being emotional, sir. I'm not being emotional. We're talking as me and you. We're talking as me and you. We're not trying to preach to the rest of the world because the rest of the world isn't watching us.
Right. Okay.
I'm trying to talk as me and you. That's the reason why I said if you were to do this, if you were to do that.
I understand that. I got you. Matter of fact, let me stop talking so loud because somebody in the chat room, he sure talk loud. You don't need to watch none of my videos. All my videos are loud. So what? Who gives a damn?
That's how men actually debate.
Go watch my video. Ain't nobody even around. It's just me by myself. I talk loud. That's the way I do things. You don't like it? Don't like it? Piss off. Adios, amigos. Bon voyage. Have you seen my videos where I talk by myself?
I completely utterly agree with Mr. Reality's Temple on Earth on that. This is how actual people that are passionate about what they're talking about actually talk. If you don't like it, and as Mr. Reality said, as it's his channel, do what he says. Piss off. If you don't like the way that men actually talk, go watch a feminist channel.
So, sister, are you still there? You wanna bring something to the table? You know I love my sisters now. I can't leave you out there silent now.
Yeah, I'm listening, but like I said, I'm not here to condemn any white person or anything.
Me neither.
I made my point perfectly clear at the beginning of the show. I'm not here to argue. I'm not here to argue with him about, why he feels the way he feels. I just know that looking at the situation of Black people in this country and around the world, we need to separate. And we need to do it very soon because it's not going to be good for Black people in 20 years from now. I mean, I see the white supremacists coming after us, not in this country, but everywhere else. They are looking to basically destroy us. We're in a race war. That does not understand. We're in a race war. And this war has been waging for thousands of years now.
Yeah.
And it started with the Greeks. And then the Romans invaded Africa. In fact, the continent was named Africa after the Roman general Africanized.
Yeah.
And, he does not understand, either he does not understand or he is willfully ignorant of the fact that we cannot live together peacefully because of the white male aggression. There is something in their psychology that has to be aggressive, not only amongst themselves, but with everyone else, every other people on the planet. I mean, they oppress their own people before they oppress any Black person on this planet or dark-skinned person on this planet. They were oppressing each other. Do you understand? World War II was about white people trying to control other nations.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand? It's about a white man named Adolf Hitler trying to control Europe. And he almost succeeded. And would have had the United States not entered the war. Do you understand?
And Russia. Don't forget Russia.
At this point, it is not even up for discussion. The fact that we need to get away from you people. It's not, to me, this is not even up for discussion on my end. Yeah. It might be up for discussion on Talik's end, but on my end, it's not even up for discussion. Because my people, are not going to be in a good economic position if we continue this integration, this crap that, got us in this situation to begin with, the integration policies that were established in the 60s. That got us in this economic downward spiral that we've been on since the 1960s. Integration basically destroyed Black businesses. Integration destroyed the Black economy. And, it's about economics at this point because, I got to be able, to feed myself every day. I got to be able to keep a roof over my head and, and not be sitting outdoors somewhere looking crazy. And, I'm thinking about the future generations. I'm thinking about the black kids that are coming up now, you know, how hard life is going to be for them in the next 20 years from today. Because I'll be in my 60s in 20 years from now. So I'm just, you know, I'm just thinking. I mean, I don't have any kids, but I can look at other folks' kids, and they just look lost. They don't know anything. They don't know anything. They're not being taught nothing in these schools except how to be a better slave.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and the parents of these children don't know anything either. They're not educating their children on the system of racism and white supremacy, and they're not really talking to these kids. A lot of these kids find out the hard way when they end up in the criminal injustice system, facing charges, you know, whether they're false or whether they're legit. They learn the hard way when they end up in the criminal injustice system.
Yeah.
And in some cases, they already end up dead, you know, like Trayvon Martin.
Yeah, sure. I completely agree.
And yes, he's a white supremacist. He was a white supremacist. Still is. I don't know where he is now, but, you know, you know, that's my take on the whole thing.
Well, I'm a white supremacist.
I say George Zimmerman is a white supremacist.
Who is?
George Zimmerman.
Yeah.
Okay. So one individual is a white supremacist. How does that account for everybody else then?
Well, again, you know, again.
Oh, but sorry, before we carry on, there's somebody in the chat. I can't remember. Anti-race mixing media. I think he said that he wanted you to send him a link or something. He's supposed to be here.
I can do
that in the chat, so he asked me to pass the message on, so I'm passing the message.
Okay, all right. Actually, yeah, I can put that in. I can put that in the chat room. I really don't, you know, as long as people are civil, whatever. I don't care who joins the conversation. Really, I don't care. I'll put the link in the chat room because I can, you know, I get some unsavory folk. I can just bump them out. Ain't no big deal. That's what I'm going to do because I think we're doing very well.
Yes, as we normally do.
Yeah, we're doing very, very well. Matter of fact, even the chat room is doing very well.
Yes.
So, maybe because I kicked all them other suckers out last time. I mean, I don't like, you know, I'm going to tell you, I don't like doing that. I don't like doing that. As long, matter of fact, I mean, you don't have to agree with nothing I say, but as long as you do it in a civil manner, I don't care. When you start name calling and all this other childish stuff, I can't take. I'm too old.
Exactly.
You know, when I was in my 30s, I could probably take it a little better, but I'm an old, grumpy old man now. I just can't do it. Things bother me now. I just can't do it. But
that's the great thing about capitalism, isn't it? It's your channel. You can do what the fuck with it that you like.
Well, like I said, I don't like doing that because as far as I'm concerned, people should have the right to express themselves. And I don't mind anything that I say. I don't mind it being challenged because if I meant it, you wouldn't be here. I don't mind my words being challenged. That don't bother me. But don't come here with all this name calling and you know how they write in the chat rooms, childish stuff. You know, I can't do it. That's another reason. Only thing they do is verify exactly what the topic is today. That there needs to be a separation. You go your way, I go my way. When a man who has cheated on his wife really means that he wants to get back with his wife, the key word here is he will go all out of his way to get his wife back, to earn her trust. We have not lived in a situation dealing with this specific people. They have not and have no intent to go all out of their way to prove nothing to us. Matter of fact, I've even been told by some Caucasian, I ain't got nothing to prove to you. Why I gotta prove something? Take it. Look, you go on your side of the fence, I stay on my side of the fence. We cool. I don't want your cow. Don't try to get milk from my cow. And we'll be cool. Yeah. Now, I'm not going to go across the fence. Because, see, that's the reason why I came on this side, because I don't want nothing to do with you. Now, don't bring your happy ass on my side. Because if you do, we got some problems. Serious problem. You know, your idea of justice is different from mine. Your idea of how you want to live your life is different from mine. So you stay on your side. And when I say you, I'm saying you in general. I'm not talking about you as an individual.
I know. I'm just playing. Okay.
So you stay on your side, I stay on my side. Hey, I forgot to put that link in there for this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let me put that link in there. Here comes the link. Here comes the link. You all right, sister?
Yeah.
Okay, you know I'm gonna take care of you. Now you know that, don't you?
I know.
All right. Okay. All right. I got that link in there. So
I'm gonna be bombarded.
So and just like I told you in an email, I'm not gonna let nobody come here and disrespect you either. We don't play that here.
I can take it.
Oh, you know, I can take it. I can take it too. But not in your own house. You know, when I go to other forums or whatever, you know, I can take it. But in my own house, I don't have to tolerate it. This is my house. Just like when I come to your house, that's your house. You know, you throw the suckers out. You know, just like the roaches, you don't belong here.
Exactly.
You know, I'm gonna tell you, I'm the kind of person, I really don't like killing roaches because I like life, but y'all don't belong here. You can't live your life with me. You know, when the roaches outside, believe me, I don't care what the roaches do. but don't come in my house now, because y'all a little on the nasty side. Okay, no, we can't do that. You know, and I'm always open. And like I told you in an email, just because I may reject certain ideologies or thoughts, don't mean I'm still not thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm always open. I don't, you know, I'm always a thinking person. But I'm gonna tell you, in this type of situation, and I've thought about it many times, the only real solution is separation. It's not nothing else. Nothing else is working. Nothing else it's just not working. Unless you are bowing down or submitting to another person. There's strings attached to our relationship. No, this is about mutual relation. This is mutual respect. There should be no strings attached. But a lot of these people, and even among ourselves as dark-skinned people, we always talk about black unity. Yep. But when you bring black unity to these people, it's with strings attached. Well, you gotta be a Muslim. You gotta be a Christian. You can't be a homosexual. You can't, you know, it's all kind of strings.
Does that come from the group itself though, or does that come from outside sources?
Excuse me?
Does that come from the group itself? Because even if you were to take a group of white people or a group of colored people or people of color, whatever, and you had them on separate continents, for instance, right? And you had no contact whatsoever. You're not allowed to have any contact. Nothing happened. Nobody was allowed to go across, whatever. You would have certain similarities between those groups crop up as well. You would have separate forms of religion form up. They don't necessarily have to be the same, but they would have forms of religion crop up. They would have forms of democracy crop up. They would have forms of tyrannical governments crop up, because both societies are human, in my opinion. So it would be the same. So would it come from outside circumstances that would create the situations that you're suggesting, or would it come from the people inside that community themselves, a self-destruction, if you will?
Yeah. Well, it's just like how Caucasian people operate. I mean, Caucasian people are different. Like you just said, different religions, different ideologies, but believe me, now even in this country, you have different people, different Caucasian people think different ways. However, if this nation come under attack, watch how they push their differences aside and how they come together to defend this nation. Based on what is common. This is a common threat.
Yep.
See, we don't think that way. We're so destroyed. We don't know how to put our differences aside and unite on common principles, on what we can agree upon. So, you know, this situation, that's why it's so hard for us to get anything in a constructive manner going. And then you also have forces in this nation that's pulling one dark-skinned person against another. You got the light skin versus the dark skin, the black men versus the black women, the black children versus the same thing that has been going on since slavery. This divisive garbage.
In the beginning of time.
Yeah, and we know this, and it's still, okay, we even know these things, and we still won't do no better. We still allow ourselves to be in this weakened condition. And the only way we can really change our condition is like everybody else do when they want to get something done, they have to unite with one another. That's the way they have to do. And not only unite with one another, if you can find an ally with those who have the same principles and seek the same thing that you're doing. Like America. America is a world power. Plenty of nuclear weapons, plenty of guns and tanks. But America is a world power, but America always seek an ally, always. They can do it by themselves, really, but they still seek help. So here you are, you're not as strong as America. Why? What make you think you don't need an ally? What make you think, when this country was founded, America didn't have a navy. The French Navy helped America win the Revolutionary War. They did not have a navy. Ben Franklin went to France, made a little deal, whatever, and France helped America win the Revolutionary War. Then America turned around and went to war with France, and then went to war with Britain again. America. Well, how you gonna go to war with the same people that helped you win your independence? But they did. Then they had to fight Mama again. You know, these people, here's something else. North Korea, you make a deal with these people, you're making a deal with the devil, telling you, all right, you better ask France. And France didn't learn a lesson. The French is buddies with America. You know, I'm gonna tell you, out of all these people, America is the worst. America is the worst. They real slick. They real conniving. They like a wolf in sheep's clothing. They know how to smile and shake your hand and all that kind of good stuff. They believe me, they scheming. America is so slick. They can plan how to get rid of you 20 years from now. That's how they do. They plan into the future. That's how America played it. But again, the subject was the justification for black separation from white folks. That's the topic that we chosen, and I think we really covered it. I was hoping that my brother Maurice, brother Maurice is the one that he takes care of a lot of the statistics and a lot of those type of things. He really is into that. Me, my thing is I use more. I thought you and me was on the same plane here. You know, use common sense. You know, because I don't use a whole lot of statics. I don't like to quote a lot of books. I'm asking us to use logic, common sense, reason, and examine. You have to be like a CSI in this situation. You know, because when you go to a crime scene, you don't know what happened, but you have to look at certain things and you have to pay close detail. You ever watch those shows where they solve these crimes? You have to. The average person couldn't solve a crime, but to the investigator, these detectives, their mind is trained to pick up on details. And see, that's what we don't do when we discussing a whole lot of these different things. We just skip over the details. We don't really look deep into. Only thing we see is a crime scene. That's all thing we see. We're not really trying to solve the crime because there's a lot of details in here that if you knew about it, you could solve the crime. Because actually, what has happened here, there has been a crime against humanity, and it needs to be solved. But it cannot be solved until you get the proper evidence, and get into the details. So, yeah. So I think that we've really covered everything. I was hoping my brother would show up, and I did put the link in the chat room. They still hadn't joined. Who was it? Anti-race mixing media?
That's the one, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna put it in the chat room again. I'm putting it in the chat room again. Put it in the chat room again.
I think he said he was going to be 10 minutes. He was getting some sort of food.
Okay, I just put. Matter of fact, it's right under anti-race mixing media. Oh, it's Brother Craig. Brother Craig, you know how to come into the chat room. Oh well, we getting ready to bring this to a conclusion here. Cause Lord knows I'm tired.
Sure.
I was tired when we got started. How you doing, sister? All right. I want to try to hang a little, maybe at least till another 15 minutes. Try to get if Brother Craig or Brother Maurice, if they pop up, because then they can take over. They can take over and whatever.
Have that, mate.
I mean, we've basically covered it, and really, you agree too that separation really is an answer. Your only problem is how you're going to do it. Is it going to mean like what they did in Israel? You oust these people out and put another people in and kick them to the curb. That's your problem. That's what your concern is. It's not the actual separation.
I mean, I don't think that that's the answer. But if that's what people want to do, then who am I to step in their way? Who's anybody to step in their way if they can find the land to do it, not taking it away from anybody?
Yeah. Well, you can also do it, and people can already be on the land. You know, you just gotta be smart with yours. That's all. You can still do it. You know.
Well, if they accept it, yeah, that's what I mean. If they accept it as well, then fair enough.
Well, because actually, I mean, when the Native Americans was here, and the Europeans, the Native Americans didn't mind sharing the land with these people. The problem was these people didn't have no intent to share nothing. You know, their intent was to take it all for themselves from the very beginning. That was their intent.
Yeah,
you know, so
there's a lot of our history that's really crap history. We did not treat people well when we were a younger civilization. We did not treat people well.
But see, that's the thing. A lot of wealth, like the sister was talking about, generational wealth. This generational wealth, built upon those type of actions, has been handed down from generation to generation. And you believe, I guess, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but you believe that this generational wealth that was built due to this activity, because the United States and a lot of other countries, this was legal action. So the country is still in existence, but this generational wealth has been handed down from generation to generation. And you don't believe that the children of the victims should not have nothing, should not be given nothing for what their parents is the reason why these people became world powers, because of free labor for hundreds of years. And you mean to tell me that the children don't deserve nothing? The children of the people that committed this atrocity, they can get the generational wealth. But the children of the victim should not be handed nothing. See, I don't like that's hypocrisy to me, and you fake to me. You want to hold on. I'm not saying you again. I'm not saying you.
No, that's fine. We'll not be able to.
I'm saying those who fit the shoe there. You mean to tell me it's all right for you to be handed down your generational wealth, and your ancestors got this wealth because of murder and slavery and pillaging, but the victims' children, of whom you still don't do right in your justice system and in society, you still don't do them right. You feel as though they should not get nothing. Let me tell you something. Look at this. They keep talking about reparations. Now, there really is no price for what has happened to dark-skinned people on this in America and around the earth. You can't put a price on what has happened. But look at this. Now, say for instance, you could take somebody like Bill Gates. Bill Gates is a billionaire. There are 40 to 70 million black people in this country, soul brothers and sisters in this country. Okay, let's say for instance, this is Bill Gates as a private citizen. Bill Gates could say, look, I'm going to give you people reparations. I'm gonna give each one of y'all $1,500,000. I don't want to hear y'all mouth no more about slavery. I don't want to hear your mouth no more about all this stuff y'all talking about. Here's your reparation. Each family, not each family, each individual, that's only $70 million. That's $70 million. Well, a little bit more than $70 million. But anyway, he's paid reparations. Now, you do with the money what you want to. And what can we say? If Bill Gates did that and we talk about reparations, what can we say? Say, look, I gave y'all reparations. What did you do with it? You bought fancy cars. You know, you bought fancy liquor. You went to the Beyonce concert. You know, you blew all the money. Don't come to me talk about reparations when I gave you your damn reparations and y'all blew it. So see, what has happened is you take the burden off of yourself and put it on the people that's doing all this damn complaining. See, and it's only $70 million. That's all. But you know how it is with some people. You give them the money and interest or whatever, they'll still turn around. Well, I still think that you owe. No. I gave you yours. Don't come asking for more. That's sufficient. You know, you got yours. Now you blew the money, that's your business. But at least that's an attempt to try to solve the problem. You know, and the United States government could say, look, y'all, you know, the United States government could say, look, not only can you have that money tax-free, you don't have to pay taxes on it, but all black people that got student loans, you don't have to pay that. Now, that's it. Now, get the ball rolling. Now we gave you your reparations. I don't want to hear that complaint. See, the problem here is these people has given absolutely nothing. And from the very beginning, they did not give nothing to dark-skinned people. We was made loose. We was not free. We was set loose. Okay. Well, how you doing there, Brother Craig? Let me finish this and you can go ahead and roll and give me a break here. What was I? From the very beginning, they set our ancestors loose. They did not set us free. They did not set us free. There's a difference. Just like your dog. You set your dog loose, the only thing you're doing is taking him off the chains and he runs loose. But when you set that dog free, you set that dog up in a position where he can take care of himself. Show the dog where he can get water, he can get his food, introduce him to his relatives that's wild, and so they can get together, so he can survive, so he can be free. We was not that. And then we was promised 40 acres and a mule, didn't get that. You know, they stole our money from these banks, the freedmen banks, and then they took the soldiers out of the South. And when they took the soldiers out of the South, all them racist Peckerwoods came and started murdering us wholesale. It's a lot of things need to take into consideration. And if you really consider, instead of depending on your statistics, research and listen to the people, the victim, who are you listen to the cries of the victim, because like I said, me myself, you don't see me. I don't quote statistics and all that. I'm using logic and common sense, and I know exactly what the deal is. So, you know, if you're sincere about wanting to learn why we feel the way we do,
Mike is doubling.
you continue to the victims, and then also we have statistics too. You know, we have statistics, and we have. But anyway, with that said, I want to, before we close this out, I want to give this over to my brother Craig. How you doing, Brother Craig?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. We having some type of doubling issue going on. Wait just a second.
I don't know, because
okay, wait just a second. Wait just a second. It's something going on. Yeah, I'm hearing myself like almost close to like 15 seconds after I speak.
Oh, well.
Are you playing the video in the background, as in from the YouTube channel?
It might be. Okay. Yeah, okay. I fixed the problem.
Okay, all right.
Okay, what was going on? I had both tabs open.
Are you playing the video in the background, as in from the...
I had both tabs open. I'm sorry.
And we got Ogre. Ogre is
Ogre. It was peace, Ogre. How you doing, sir? Okay, good. Well, man, I am so sorry that I was not able to make it in.
Yeah.
You know, on schedule, but I was hoping that this will be a very long discussion. You know, I didn't know that you would have.
You're here,
I didn't know
brother.
that you would have my man Ogre and my other man, the common sense guy, up in here today. You know,
Yeah.
and I don't know who is that sister right there.
Sister Alberta.
Okay, peace.
That's my government name. That's my government name.
Okay, okay, she's on the phone. Okay,
Yeah.
you have her on the phone.
We'll get her together next time.
Okay, thank you. So
Yes.
yeah, I mean, okay,
Yes.
so
I had the time wrong, or I would have been here earlier, gentlemen. I would have been out in the
yeah,
chat.
I feel so bad to be so late.
I
Yeah,
actually didn't look at my timeline, and I thought it was 7:30 Greenwich Mean, Eastern Standard Time, Reality's Temple and Common Sense. Or I was actually screwing off doing a stupid stream with music, like 2 people watching, and I just went by Discord and saw it. So that's all I got to say. Sorry I missed it, boys. I will go back and watch. It's always I don't know everyone else that's here, but it's always entertaining and interesting to watch Reality's Temple and Common Sense Guy together. It's wonderful for me. Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is their second show together.
Yeah.
Whatever. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah.
But
What's up,
They're-
Jay?
and basically, they're just like if you look at a negative, that's what you're looking at. It's like one is black and one is white. They're very similar, only maybe Common Sense is a little more patient.
well, Common Sense, isn't he from like the UK or something? Because I watched I watched the episode that you guys did. I mean, well, that my brother Taalik did.
Yes.
And, you know, it was pretty good, man. You know, I watched it a couple times and stuff. So I hate to be so late. So I'm kind of real late on the discussion today. So I don't know.
Oh, the topic. I mean, really was waiting, trying to keep it going until Brother Maurice got here, and y'all can have at it. You know, I just sit back in the cut, moderate or whatever. Y'all can say whatever that you want to say, but the topic is the justification for black separation from white folks.
Okay.
And we talked about that for about an hour or so, and we sort of burned out.
Well, there's plenty of good reasons for that. I wasn't here, so just very quickly, I'll give my synopsis on that in about 2 minutes. In the old days, I think I like Jesse Lee Peterson. Yeah. I've known a lot of people in my life. A good friend of mine, Shuby, I won't even say his name. That's just how we all knew him in Louisville, Kentucky. Old black man that died years ago, but I knew him when I was young. And he explained how that my father and he were friends, but why he went to where he went. He told me this when I was young, why he went to where he lived and my father went back where we lived at night, you know, because I used to wonder. I wondered about these things as a youth. And I had wise men, black and white, explain these things. And dude, look, I'm not saying that a white man can't marry a black woman or a black man can't marry a white woman or all of these things. I'm not necessarily for interracial. I mean, I'm not going to go into that. I'm just saying I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I'm not going to fly my flag there. But I mean, come on, people. In this day and age, when the outcry is as it is, what's wrong with Alabama, Mississippi, large parts of it at least? What is wrong with if that's the answer to say, look, well, let's still be the United States, but we could have, for lack of a better term, ethno-states. And we could even have segregated schools and communities.
Okay.
Brother Reality, when you were young, there was segregation and you went to a school and the whites went to a school. And then suddenly maybe someone you knew didn't live right where you lived and they were sent off to some white school. And because it did happen both ways. Most of the time it was some white kids that their things changed very drastically for them. But sometimes it was some black kids that were sent here and suddenly they had to deal with this new reality, not because where they were from was even a bad place at the time. Because in those days, the black community was stronger than the white community. I'm not preaching for black, whatever, empowerment or white power, nothing. I'm just saying the fact. They had less divorce rate. They made more money per capita when you're talking about working class. They were doing well. And something changed drastically. And one of the things that changed, folks, and I'm ending it here, was this forced integration. It's unnecessary. Most people don't want it. Reality does not want me and my family and all my friends moving into his
Ogre, I have a question.
No, you don't. And there's no disrespect to me. We could meet at the bar and you could have a Coca-Cola and I could have a beer. We could still be friends, but you do not want me and all of my fucking friends moving into your neighborhood. You don't want
Ogre. I have a question for you. Are you from the state, the United States of America?
I'm from Louisville, Kentucky.
Okay,
which is
I
in the
have a
United States.
question. My thing is this. I don't want a state. I don't want a state in America at all. All I want is for you guys, for me, to be able to look back into my family tree and to be able to get the unpaid wages that my enslaved ancestors worked for. The rape, the murders, the child molestation, all of that stuff. All I want is this money. Give me my money and set me up somewhere in my mother continent, which is Africa. You guys can have North America.
Oh, Lord, I've not heard that. No, I've cut you off, but I've not heard that often. Most people, like, I think that Terrence fella that's on Twitter and also on YouTube, Terrence, I can't remember his name. He's chicken fucking funny guy, black dude. So he's like, fuck that. I ain't going back to Africa. You know what I mean? But anyway, so your argument is that, yes, give us, I don't want to use the words reparation. Right. Give us what we believe is owed. Yes, in retrospect, because I mean, obviously, you may have had a grandfather or grandmother, you may have had several family members that worked their life and never were paid. So to pay that forward, and then you could leave.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Give me a ticket. Give me, my due money.
Have you ever been to Kenya?
Oh, have I ever been to Kenya? No, I've been to a lot of places, but no, I have not ever been to Kenya, and that's only because that I have a fear of flying. Okay. I put it like this: just pay for me a boat ticket back. Your ancestors brought my ancestors over here on a boat way before.
Not my ancestors, sir. I'm Jewish.
The Wright brothers I'm
Jewish, sir. But sir, I not my ancestors. I'm Jewish, so if you wanted to go that route, your ancestors took my ancestors as slaves and forced us to build pyramids for you. So, I mean, if you want to play that game, I'm Jewish. You can't go that route with me. My people were never involved in the North American trade slave at all. There's people now. Reality, I know he should jump in now because there's a lot of things. But look, reality. I will say this: those people aren't real fucking Jews. Half of them are not even Jewish blood. They're Zionists that have been Zionists for the last 400 years and have been trying to forge a holy land through making slaves or whatever. They are not. They are my people only because they say they are, not by blood, as far as I've been told, and as far as I know.
Okay, let me do this. I want my sister. She want to chime in. Women always get priority here. I hope y'all don't. I mean, that's just how it happens here. Okay.
Get her in here.
Yeah, but I want to say, let's stay on it. That's not the topic. The topic is the justification for black separation. When you start going in that direction, that's a whole different ball game.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
That's a whole different ball game. It opens up a whole lot of other doors. And we want to just stay on topic here. Do we actually have to justify separation from one another?
No.
Go ahead, sister.
I just want to say, I heard somebody say, give us reparations. And I'm telling you now, they're never going to give us reparations.
Yes.
Definitely.
We need a revolution. There's no other option at this point.
Yes, ma'am.
We gotta become like Queen Nat Turner up in this bitch. I'm sorry. Can I say that?
You mean like a war? You mean like a civil war?
We gotta become, we just need a revolution. I don't need a
shit, I should have cut out.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead, girl.
And because they're never going to give us reparations.
Am I the only one that came here?
Do you understand that? I mean, but we can talk about it, but I'm telling you now, it will never happen. Not in your lifetime, not in 20 generations from now.
Right.
When has the white man ever actually done the right thing by any people?
May I ask the question now?
To a time in history where the white man has ever done the right thing by any people that they've enslaved and oppressed? Can you point to a time in history?
Can I ask a question now?
Yes.
Thank you. This will be to, it will be to Reality's Temple on Earth. It will also be to your sister, which obviously I don't know the name, which is why I'm saying sister. It will also be to African supremacy. Why do you deserve reparations when it was your family members in the past?
Because here's the thing about that. Okay, my answer, I can directly point back.
Wait a minute, hold on. Hold on.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to nip this right in the butt. That's a whole different ball game, whole different subject. Only thing we want to know is, should we or should we not separate from one another?
We should separate, but at the same time, the United States government owes us. I'm not gonna just separate without getting what is due to me. That's not gonna happen.
That's why I wanted to ask the question.
This is why this question needs to be answered. Because there's
brother Craig.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna answer that question on another show.
Okay.
We're not gonna answer that question today because it's totally off topic. It's totally off topic and it's taking us into places, that I don't want to go today. I'm tired. I can't handle it. Only thing we need to know is, do we need to separate or not? That's
what has been said on this show so far. I'm not 100% sure. I'm trying to see what narrative has been painted. When you say, do we need to separate? I mean, I'm just trying to figure out, like, exactly. Could you explain your position first?
We do it naturally. I mean, if you look at in general, we do it naturally. So I think the question is very, very, very straightforward. Do we need to separate? Now, I don't think that reality or anyone would call for forced separation or state mandated, but if people wanted to and they could, so in other words, if reality would like to have a club, and this club was black males from the age of 15 to 65, period, and they had that club and they would get together. Hey, look, there's nobody's business telling them they can't do that. If they wanted to have a community, that the whole community was black people with, and look, in these situations, I'm just going to qualify this very quickly. In these situations, yes, there will be the odd white person or Asian person that is part of that culture and accepted by that culture in there, but that would be up to them. Is that okay? Yes, that's okay. It's the way humanity has worked for eons back into the mists of history. And it is better that way. It's better if reality can go home and say, I seen that crazy kike bastard, ogre today over there at the thing, but he's home with his people. It's better if I can go home and say, I saw that crazy nigger fucking Reality's Temple today, and I'm back home with my people. And we can do what we do and not fuck with other people. That's the thing that boggles my mind. Why are we forced into a situation where now we don't have a choice but to? Anyway, that's it. That's all.
You got to work within this mess that we're
born into.
We don't have nothing. We don't have no say. So we just born into this mess.
Yes.
And it's getting worse and worse. It's not getting better. If I saw that it was getting better, then I would probably be more like the common sense guy. Let's work within the system and whatever. But like I said, I've been living in America for 50 years. And I do read books, even though I don't put them behind me or whatever. I'm student upon a lot of this other stuff. And it's just not working. It's not working, people. When a man and woman who are married, at one time they loved each other. But for some reason, something went wrong. You cannot force them to be together. Well, I do it for the sake of the children. Yeah, but at the same time, your marriage, what's going on between you two is getting worse and worse.
And you ruin the children anyway.
Yeah, you ruin the children anyway. And then if one of the people in the marriage kill the other, one goes to prison, the other one goes to the morgue, how do the children benefit? Now you got orphans because you was trying to force this thing that should have been allowed to separate. Matter of fact, a lot of people, some married people live separate. The husband live on the right side of the house, wife live on the left side of the house. They actually live that way. Yes. And when they want to do a little something, they know how to come together.
And it works
when
well.
It comes to separation, like, what do you suggest, like, as far as like what means, like, when you say separation? Are you talking about like just getting a certain part of the United States strictly for black people? Or are you talking about moving to a different continent?
No.
Like, those are the questions. I'm asking my brother, Taalik.
Yes.
Like, what is his, idea of separation? Like,
Okay. Before I answer that, I have to acknowledge, I acknowledge women on this channel. So my sister Pamela, she just showed up in the chat room. So I got to, you know, I love my sisters. I got to acknowledge the sisters here. But what we're looking here, see, we are in this situation did not start 3 months ago, did not start 100 years ago, 300. This has been going on a very, very long time. So you just can't expect to just separate. You know, this is not like me as an individual. When I was in my situation, I went to them idiots and said, look, I don't care if I have to live in a ditch. I want out of here. I want to separate. I don't want to see your ugly face no more. But that's me as an individual. And I also understood, I also had certain resources and things of this nature. Now, as a people who are intertwined with this society, you know, you just can't do that. You just can't just roll out like that because you're intertwined in the society and you've been here for going on 500 years. So what you have to do, it would be a gradual type of separation, little by little, actually really starting in your own neighborhood. See, me, I think big. I think we should start off with taking a city or a state. Actually, a state. I don't, you know, my idea, what I see is taking control of a state. But we should have, and we should have control of our neighborhoods. We don't even have control of our neighborhood. How you gonna separate? First, you've never operated outside of Caucasian people. You have never shown that you can operate independent of them. So, okay, you separate, but you don't, I mean, you don't have no idea how things function. Take a road trip, get in your car, and just look at things, how things are in this country. There are things going on in this country, things that have to be done every day. You have no idea they're being done, but you want to be free. So if you want to be free and separate in your own nation, you don't even know what that's about, because the only thing you are doing is living here. You don't know how it really operates, you know, and we don't have no skills. You want to go separate and do something. You don't know how to fix a car. You don't know nothing about plumbing. You don't know how to set up the internet. You don't know how to have no skills to do that. You can't build a house. You don't know how to set up the sewer system. You don't know how to build a road. You don't know how to build a bridge. What you separating yourself so that you can go live with like a primitive? If you want to live like a primitive, that's cool. We can find somewhere and do that today. But see, y'all have to have the internet, and you got to have Facebook, and you got to drive a car. You want to live comfortable, whatever. And so it's going to require a whole lot of things that we're not even taking consideration, because talking about something and doing something is two totally different things. So I'm not going to make a move just to be a failure. I'm going to make a move so I can be a success. So I can slowly climb up the ladder so I can get what I want. Matter of fact, chances are I will be dead. Do you understand? I will be dead before I get what I want. But I want to begin the process so the children can enjoy what I got started. Just like
nothing wrong with that. There's the Boer saying in South Africa. There's a Boer saying that a wise man plants a tree he'll never enjoy the shade of. I just wanted to cut the rant because I don't know if anybody else wants to talk about it. There is a saying that's very wise. It goes back to what you're saying. A wise man plants the seed of a tree he'll never enjoy the shade of. So really, it wouldn't matter in my mind if anyone that was wronged in the past would work to make sure that their offspring would be made right, made whole. They may not be there to see it. In fact, you wear a button that I love with Malcolm X on it. And you know, the way he was going, and it's off topic, so I better shut up now. I just know we always want to press you, right? Because you knew some of these people and you worked in their circles. So a lot of us are very interested. I personally love Mr. Farrakhan. I mean, you know, they called him out just recently. Every time he opens his mouth, because he says something about evil Jews, right? As a Jew, I watch his sermons every week. I love Mr. Farrakhan. He's not talking about me. If you take offense to that, what it is the shoe fits, so you're wearing it. And then suddenly you feel bad. That's why all these terms, all these things that drive humanity apart. I've never seen you, reality, be offended by a word. I've seen you get amped up about ideas, but I've never seen common sense. I've never seen you angry about a word. You know, it's ideas that suck and that make people angry. Anyway.
You know what I find really, really interesting about this stream as a whole is the fact that with all the people that are on the stream, all of us agree that if people want to separate, then they can. I think that's quite evident, even when you have 2 white people and 3 people of color here. It shows the fact that we can think exactly the same way, and we do actually respect each other's choices and decisions. I think that just goes to show you that the differences that have happened through the evolution of time, if you will. I think that's absolutely amazing that we're all on the same page, so to speak.
Well, you know, the truth is, I don't, you know, Afrikaan, he can win his ticket to go back to Africa, but the problem is, Afrikaan, I don't want you to go back to Africa, okay, sir? I want you to have a job in the nice place where all the other white people work and black people and everybody work. You know, I want you to be able to have, but it would be nice if, because
hey, that would never work, sir. When you say that you don't want me to go back to Africa,
I don't want you to go back to Africa.
Come from Africa.
But it's hell, you're American now.
You're trying to deprive me right now.
But if you want to, go ahead. I mean, I wouldn't. No, I wouldn't deprive you. I'm just saying.
No, when I'm saying I will happily leave.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have ancestors who helped to build America. I have ancestors who were deprived privileges and jobs because they couldn't go into the deep south because
me too.
There was places like the Coon Chicken Inn.
Yeah, me too. We weren't allowed to tell people. When I was young, I was told not to tell anybody I was Jewish. I could not tell anybody I was Jewish. Who were raped. They would have probably killed my grandpa.
So today, what do you think? Okay, what do you think?
That was only 25, 30 years ago.
Somebody to civil court for a rape charge. How much do you think that person would get?
Well, first of all, I don't think
the judge is just and fair.
They should be going to prison.
Well, what do you think about the people on Mount Rushmore? What do you think about Thomas Jefferson?
I think they're a product of their time.
Little girls who raped.
I think they're a product of their time. I think they're a product of their time, and looking back in the past to justify the stuff that's going on with us now is not the way that we should be moving forward.
Humanity don't exist. Yeah. So are you saying that because they are products of their time, the laws of just nature and goodness don't even exist?
So how far back do you want to go?
Did I even suggest that? I said they're a product of their time, and the thing is that they have either been dealt with or their crimes cannot be dealt with because they're dead.
Being dealt by their maker. They're probably up in, if there is a such thing as hell, they're probably somewhere getting stuck up in the rear end with
they probably are,
by the devil.
They probably are, which
right
would be
now for all of the injustices that they have done. People that look like me. No disrespect. I just want to be honest.
I am being honest. They're a product of their time. If it happened today, they would be going to prison.
It's Taalik, brother. They're a product of their time. So that's the excuse.
But there's other things, sir, if I may. There's things that are happening now, and I don't want to judge people because of color. But if you look again at South Africa right now, they sing little songs about killing the Boer and shooting with the machine gun. Am I now because these black leaders are saying that they want to kill white people? Should I deserve reparations? What you're saying is a logical fallacy, sir. That's all I'm going to tell you.
And I mean, what about it is illogical?
Well,
what about it? No, it's a logical fallacy. Let me cut
in real quick because again, we off topic here, and we can set up a show just to talk about reparations and injustice or whatever. But right now,
I'm feeling I'm fucking this up. Reality, I'm leaving. I got to go. God save the Queen. Okay. Thank you so much, Reality. Assalamu alaikum, sir. You have the power. I love you, my black brother. God save you. God save your people.
All right. Yeah, we need to set up a show just for. Actually, we could set it up on your channel, African.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I'm supposed to be going live in a little while later if I can get in touch with my brother Guy or whatever. I just made it inside the house, but no, I'm not. I mean, I just because I know that this will be available, for like a DVR and YouTube. So I have to put the truth out there. So when I listen to myself, talk, I have to at least speak the truth, But we can get directly to the topic. I mean, I was questioned, so I had to respond accordingly.
Yeah, because we need to. When you have a topic, it's best to really try to stay on point because when what happens when we start going in these different places. Next thing you know, we're all over the place, and that's not cool. That's not cool. And also, I'm too tired for it, and I'm getting too old for it. I can't do it no more. Yes, but so far, I mean, prior before, you know, we was talking for about an hour, so I think we've done pretty good. Myself and Sister Alberta and the Common Sense guy, and even right now, even to this point, I think we've done real well. We need to set up a show just for that particular topic. I'm pretty sure these gentlemen wouldn't mind coming to your channel, and
I'd be more than happy to. Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you the truth, I don't want to be responsible for the back and forth or whatever, and try to keep control of the conversation.
I just want to make sure it's a civil discussion. Like if we do go to my channel, as long as it's civil.
Yeah, y'all. But I want y'all to be responsible for that. I want to be.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You know, because I know that can be a heated discussion. You know, so.
Well, as you well know from me being on this channel, Mr. Realities, I'm never one for backing down from a fight, but I never start one.
Yeah. I mean, like I said,
Common Sense guy,
as individuals, we have an understanding here. I think that we have an understanding. Hey, because you wrote me a text, or no, it wasn't a text. It was in the chat room. I mean, in the comment, you said, "I don't have nothing to do with you." And remember when you wrote that?
Yep. Yeah, but you invited me on, sir. It wasn't the case that I come back to you. It was the case that you invited me. I don't mind. I said to you when I left in that comment, I said to you that if you wanted me to come on and have a discussion with you, I'm more than happy to talk to you. But I'm not going to go back and forth in the comment sections anymore. It's pointless. It's pointless.
I don't like the comment sections either. I mean, because it loses something in that writing. Yeah. It's not the same. Matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why I think a lot of us have problems communicating, because a lot of us are, you know, doing all that writing stuff. And we need to have a sit-down conversation. That's why I like to see people eye to eye. I don't like that faceless stuff.
Sure.
Brother Craig is behind I know how Sister Alberta and Brother Craig, they would be happy to show their face. They're not like that. But you know, you have a lot of these people don't want to show their face. When I'm talking to you, I want you to see me just like I see you. I want to see who I'm talking to.
Sure.
I want to see your facial expressions. I want to see how you come forward. You know, that's the way because I'm out here for you. So why can't you do that with me? Are you trying to hide something, maybe?
I was having this conversation.
You know, some of these people are troublemakers. They might pretend that they black and mess with the white folks, and they could be white and mess with the black folks. You don't know who these people are behind. They could be government agents keeping the crap going. You know what I'm saying?
Could be. I was literally having this conversation with one of my friends, and it was a case that we were saying that people that hide their faces, so to speak, if they're trying to produce a political view or an ideological view, if they were so behind that view, why would they not be able to show their face? If they honestly believed in that view, why wouldn't they show their faces?
Absolutely.
See, I'm just laying back, relaxing right now. I mean, I'm sitting up here.
It wasn't an attack. It wasn't an attack.
And stuff like that. But if you got anybody is more than welcome to go to my channel and see videos of me with my face.
Brother Craig, put your channel link in the chat room so they can get there.
Okay,
so they can subscribe and
yeah, I have to go to it.
When you have that get together, make sure I'm available. I like to participate in that thing.
Well, we're supposed to be going live today. I'm talking to my brother Guy as of right now through text message, whatever. So we're supposed to be going live like sometime later on today.
Well, I'm telling you, right now I'm so pissed out. I'm tired. I don't know if I can make it. I might be able to show up a little bit, but I don't know. I can't make no promises.
Yeah, no, I definitely understand. That's definitely respectable.
Yeah.
You know, but yeah. So I was just, I hated to
come on as well if you wanted me to come on. I would generally come on any sort of time that you would want. It's just I'm in UK time and it's already 2200 where I am already.
Okay, what is 2200?
At 10 o'clock, sir, in the night.
Oh, okay, yeah. So it's almost time for bed.
Yeah.
Almost. Almost.
Right. Okay, so yeah. Wow, I wish Brother Maurice had made it. We just gonna have to set up another get together.
Sure.
This was very interesting. It was very peaceful, very civil.
Yeah.
I loved it. Sister Pamela, I don't know what happened to Brother Maurice. I don't know. I try to wait on him as long as possible, but you know, like I told you, Brother Maurice is the one. He's the statistics guy and that type of thing. He likes doing that kind of thing. That's not my thing. He would feed your, he would go with you toe to toe about stats, and I'm not a stat person. But
nor am I, to be fair. I'm not really a stat guy. I'm more
and
like
basically
you.
it's because of the sources. I don't like who's doing the stats. But yeah. Well, everybody, we're gonna wrap this up. Thank you for joining us, Common Sense Guy, African Brother Craig, and of course my number one sister Alberta. You know, number one in my book. And my sister Pamela. The sisters is number one. Ladies first here. Ladies first here, y'all. And Sister Pamela in the chat room. Glad to see you. Okay. Oh, she must have dropped again. Yeah, Sister Alberta. Okay, got dropped again. Maybe my phone dropped. Who knows? Yeah, okay.
The sound is muffled and it's very low. That's why I had to call you that.
Oh, okay. Well, we're getting ready to wrap things up. Is there anything you want to say before we bring this to the end?
I'm saying everything I need to say. You know,
okay.
That's why I'm saying, I don't think we're going to get any reparations.
Right.
That's not going to happen. So.
Yeah, we're gonna set up a hangout on that brother's channel just for that particular topic. I'll tell you about it. I'll tell you about it. And Common Sense Guy, did you want to say something before we end this?
To be honest, no. I'm actually quite happy with everything. I just wanted to point out what I pointed out earlier. It's surprising. I'm sure it surprised you even as well. The fact that the two white guys that you had on basically completely and utterly agreed with you on the idea that if you want to separate, then that's up to you. I think that's a good thing. I think that shows you the fact that people are actually changing their points of view, that people are actually realizing that everybody's an individual and should be treated as such.
And of course, my brother Craig. I know you came in late, but
yes, sir.
You want to bring a list?
I would definitely say that separation is the only answer for our people. Because when you look at it, capitalism is based off of the haves oppressing the have-nots. So if the reason that the white man doesn't want us to separate, because without us, without an oppressed group, the white man's whole system will crumble. So the white man is going to do everything in his power for us not to separate as a group of people. So that's basically all I want to say. We will, get into, deeper discussion about it. But, from what I've heard so far, this was a wonderful discussion. So
yeah,
peace to everybody.
It was.
Peace to everybody. And we can do this again pretty soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. On that note, this was a wonderful conversation. Brother Craig, put your channel link in the on the video, the video itself, so they can get the link. Because I think I seen it fly through the box, our box where we're in. But I think it'll be better access in the actual chat room on the video, if you can do that. So, okay. With that said, I enjoyed the conversation. I hope that those who are listening and those who are listening later, I hope that you get a little something out of this conversation with integrated conversation, because we have Caucasian people here and we also have ourselves here. It's actually an integrated conversation, and I think we did pretty well. Civil, cordial, peaceful, and that's the way it should be. Maybe if we can continue to have conversations like this and people are sincere, those who really are in a position to change something, because we don't have no power. All of us who appear here today, we don't have no power to say. We don't make no laws. We don't do nothing. But if we can get this conversation going where we can have this talk, maybe, I'm not saying, maybe we don't have to go to such an extreme, because we have, living in this country, America, our ancestors bled and died here just like anybody else. So why do we need to go 3,000 miles away? that's a nice place to visit. And the reality is you don't know nothing about that place. That's the reality. It's a nice place to visit. You don't know nothing about that place. I mean, you get all hyped up and whatever, and you don't know nothing about that place. And they have so many different beliefs and customs, and you ain't ready for it. You're just not ready for it. It sounds good, but y'all ain't ready though. You ain't. I'm Angel Snub number 7, your soul brother number 1. Peace to Brother Craig, Sister Alberta, the Common Sense Guy, Olga, and all of you in the chat room and listening around the earth. As Dr. Cornelius always said in part, I wish us love, peace, and to Sister Alberta. So, and we off the air.
Cool.